Hi, I'm Sahana Dharmapuri, Director of Our Secure Future, Women Make the Difference. Our Secure Future works to strengthen the women, peace, and security agenda to build a more peaceful world through ensuring women's full participation in governance. Welcome to Advancing the Role of Women in Politics, Peace and Security, and Economic Institutions. This lesson is Advancing Peace and Security Through Women's Participation, created with my colleague, Erin Cooper, who serves as Program Manager at Our Secure Future. In this lesson, we will explain the Women, Peace and Security, or WPS, agenda, which recognizes the role that women play in conflict prevention, resolution, and peace building. Women, Peace and Security originates from women in conflict zones around the world, who came together in 2000 to urge the United Nations Security Council to include women's voices in international peace and security decision-making. WPS seeks to increase women's meaningful leadership in political and civic life and ensure that they are empowered to contribute, have the skills to succeed, and have access to opportunities and resources. We will also address the importance of promoting the safety of women and girls and their meaningful participation in efforts to advance peace and address conflict at the local and national level. Successful leaders advancing peace and security understand these three things. They recognize that the full participation of women leads to peace and security. They know that gender differences impact every aspect of security, including even how we define it. And they understand that even though we've made progress, there's still more to do to achieve equality. It begins in program design and project management. It starts at the panel discussion and around the conference table. It includes involving women in every level of the security sector, as police, soldiers, interpreters, doctors, and political leaders. Ensuring we have women in positions of peace and security decision-making is critical. As a leader, you can make better decisions and achieve better outcomes for everyone. Let's begin with women, peace, and security. 20 years ago, the world made the bold step to state that the security of the individual is as important as the security of the state. UN Security Council Resolution 1325, a document as critical to security as the Geneva Conventions, called upon all states not to just shift their beliefs, but to change their practices. More than 85 countries have national action plans on gender equality. Now it is law in the United States that women must be taken into account in defining war, peace, and security. This is reinforced in other legislation about creating more stable countries, like the Global Fragility Act. What would it look like if we actually did that? Well, we analyzed 500 conflicts from every corner of the globe and security outcomes since that law was passed. The results were pretty definitive. Peace agreements were 35% more likely to last when women participated fully in decision-making about what's included in the agreements. What is unique about the Women, Peace, and Security approach to resolving conflict is that it is led by women's civil society groups that are committed to nonviolent, human rights-based approaches to ending violence. They use nonviolent actions like dialogue and consultation with military actors, rebel forces, government, and civil society. They also engage in civil resistance like peaceful protests and organizing communities across religious, ethnic, and other differences. For example, Muslim and Christian Liberian women created an interfaith coalition to successfully call for peace in their communities in Liberia. In 2011, Lema Bowie received the Nobel Peace Prize for her role in leading women in the nonviolent struggle to fully participate in the Liberian peace process. How does bringing women together into conversation change outcomes? Well, let's look at how the Northern Ireland Women's Coalition championed long-term social change and reconciliation in their communities to bring peace into their country. They ensured that provisions about educating both Protestant and Catholic children were included, and so was peace education. They were so instrumental that they were signatories of the Good Friday Peace Agreement, ending the Troubles, a decades-long conflict. But is that a fluke? Would shifting our practice to make peace negotiations more equal actually change anything? In many of the world's conflicts, how peace and security affects women is being taken for granted, and leaders are more effective if they start involving women in the decision-making process. We know this leads to better outcomes. Research from scholars and policymakers shows that when women are able to participate in creating a more peaceful society, such as participating in peace negotiations, peacekeeping, or countering violent extremism, the solutions last longer and work better. Studies have shown that states with a larger gender gap in governance were riddled with corruption, disease, violence, and higher mortality rates. In contrast, states where more women were included enjoyed higher trust in government, lower infant mortality rates, and a greater focus on social welfare. The world has taken notice. Women now make up 24% of legislative bodies around the world, and more than 85 countries have national action plans for achieving gender equality. Then the Our Secure Future research team took a different approach. We asked women about security and safety. We asked hundreds of women from more than 63 countries about what they experienced in war and peace. Their stories were universal. The sentiment was the same. This showed us that these problems are not simply issues, but rather global phenomenon shared by 50% of the world. We know what the problem is, and we know how to fix it. And we have overwhelming proof that this means shifting the way we do business by considering women. What does it look like when we do that? When we talk to both men and women, boys and girls, and consider their different experiences, priorities, and values, we are able to have more nuanced and comprehensive information about the challenges we face. Not everyone sees security in the same way, and different perspectives are critical if we're going to achieve better outcomes. For example, when women are in peacekeeping and security roles, it also increases access to justice for survivors because it increases trust and legitimacy with local communities. In many places where conflicts are continuing to destroy lives and livelihoods, women still have to fight their way into the room. Their security concerns have yet to be treated seriously. Yet, we are constantly told that the plight of women is not important during these times of conflict. The idea that women are not involved in fighting and should not be involved in peacekeeping is an excuse to exclude women, while women are increasingly combatants and certainly affected by the direct conflict. I have to wonder, with that approach, what are the real prospects for peace? How can we be confident that we have the best policy options on the table to create lasting peace if the concerns of half a country's population are considered unimportant? A colleague of ours tells the story of creating a peace plan in Angola. Part of the plan was to clear the mines off the roads so communities could come together after years of armed conflict. The roads were cleared, but these small farming villages didn't recover. It failed. Why? Decisions were made by people in the capital and international experts. No one had talked to the rural farmers, the majority of whom were women. They cleared the mines from the roads, but the mines in the field were still there. Communities could not know peace because the farmers did not feel secure. No agriculture meant the country couldn't move forward on the path to reconstruction. This one was simple. It wasn't a matter of missing it. It was a matter of priorities. In broad strategic terms, it's doable. It simply requires a shift in the way decisions are made. It seems simple, right? And yet, we failed to do it. We can also look at the work done by women peace activists in Sudan who helped usher in the Sudanese peace agreement in 2020. A group of women originally came together online to share stories and struggles of their personal lives. But what started as a social network evolved into a group working to create positive change and reshape their country. Sudan, a country formerly ruled by Sharia law, is still in the process of transformation, where on a regular basis, 70% of the protesters who are in the streets are women. They are taking other steps to get their country on track to peace. And yet, women are still left out of official actions. There were no women present at the ceremony to sign and verify the Sudanese power-sharing agreement. But recently, the absence of women in governing roles led to pushback in the country. Now, 4 of the 18 ministries will be led by women, including the Ministries of Foreign Affairs and Economics. These examples teach us a lesson. Including women in peacemaking is often still an afterthought. It is still a strategic blind spot, despite all the evidence that suggests that better results are achieved when women play a key role in any peace process. As a young leader, you can help ensure women's full participation in creating lasting peace and security and make it a standard process. Imagine what we could achieve if leaders, especially men, open the door to women. When women fully participate in decision-making, it benefits everyone, including men and marginalized communities. The vast majority of people don't even know that this international effort exists. With you, that all changes today. You leave now knowing 3 things. We have a strategic blind spot in peace and security processes, but we have a mandate and a legal framework to fix it. We know what works to create better outcomes. This changes with you, and the simpler answer is ask women. Successful leaders nurture the strengths and talents of their people and build teams committed to achieving common goals. To advance peace and security for everyone, you must understand that the full participation of women leads to peace and security. Know that gender differences impact every aspect of security, including even how we define it. Acknowledge that even though we've made progress, there's still more to do to achieve equality between men and women. So, young leader, remember to ask these 3 questions. Does your country have a national action plan or legislation on women, peace, and security? Is there a civil society organization in your country focused on these issues? And how can you support more women to participate in your businesses and communities at the decision-making level? For more on this course and to access related resources, please visit our website.